Good evening and welcome to today's news bulletin. I'm Zandile Mpapane, recapping stories making headlines. His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Kingdom, left the country for Scotland. SADC Methodist leaders today visited the Kingdom in light of the political stability that has been happening in the Kingdom. The Human Rights Commission presented an assessment on the civil unrest that occurred in June 2021. This was a message from the National Disaster Management Agency in collaboration with the Ministry of Health in the Kingdom of Eswatini. It is all about encouraging Yemaswati to adhere to COVID-19 regulations, and it is funded by UNICEF. We shall get back to our news bulletin. His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, left the Kingdom for Scotland, where His Excellency will be representing His Majesty King Yemaswati III in a conference on climate change. We have a report.
Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Honorable Cleopas Dlamini, departed out of the kingdom this afternoon at about 3 o'clock. The Prime Minister will be attending a conference of the COP26 that will be held in Glasgow. This is a conference that is held annually and attended by the head of state and stakeholders, innovators and organizations, whereby they will explore the possibilities for further accelerating clean growth in issues of climate change. In his departure, the Prime Minister was with the Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Honorable Moses Vilagati.
Bheka eGlasgow, Scotland, lapha siphinye khona ngwenyama kuyawungenela umhlangano we-climate change ubitha ngokuthi phecelezi COP26 okusho ukuthi Conference of Parties. Lo mhlangano kulona waqala kuba khona kubanjwa ngo-1995 emazwe ahlangana atobokisana ngesiguquka kwesimo ukuthi ingabe yini lengentiwa ukuze ukuthi kuzame ukucontroleka kwabonakala ukuthi vele sekuqalile ukushisa sekusezingeni lelingekho lokufanele ngathi nga-2015 waphindze wabanjwa nomhlangano eveni lase-France eParis lapha kwavumelana khona ukuthi i-climate ukushisa funa kucontrolwe kungefiki ngetulu ba-1.5 degrees kusukela la bekhona nangabe bekungu-10 kufuneka ukuthi kungafiki ku-11.5. Emavele lathuthukile athembisa ukuthi atawubambisa emavele asathuthuka ngekuwanika imali phela hle ukuthi alwe nale climate change. Ngoba nawulwa ne-climate change kufika kuthiwe ungasebenzise emalahle. Na ungasebenzisa emalahle-ke sekusho ukuthi sewutawusebenzisa indlela tekubasa letidulile. Kungoke la mavele athuthukile athi cha sitanika thina na imali enganga-100 billion US dollars nemavele asengakathuthuki ukuze ukuthi nifinance indlela tekulwa nale climate change. Akuhambanga-ke njengaleto thembiso imali itathola kepha tangabi anywhere near leti athembisiwe ngokwenda-ke ukuthi emavele asathuthuka astruggle kulwa nale climate change.
Reporting for Yemaswati channel, I am Nonhlanhla Twala in a report compiled by Justice Dlamini at King Yemaswati III International.
The Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Polile Shakantu, today at the Hilton Garden Inn in Mbabane, officially opened a workshop for Access Recovery Inter-Agents Network for Southern Africa. We have a report. Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Senator Polile Shakantu, today officially opened a workshop for Access Recovery Inter-Agency Network for Southern Africa. The ongoing workshop held at the Hilton Garden Inn and the inter-agency collaboration on asset recovery on issues across the country in the region. The minister stated that coordinating is the key for anti-money laundering and the access recovery process due to the nature of proceedings and information required when dealing with such crimes.
May I quote the foreword of the United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime Unit, UNTOC, where it states that If crime crosses borders, so must the law enforcement. If the rule of law is undermined, not only in one country, but in many, then those who defend it cannot limit themselves to purely national means. If the enemies of progress and human rights seek to exploit the openness and opportunities of globalization for their purposes, then we must exploit these very same factors to defend human rights and defeat the forces of crime, corruption, and trafficking in human beings.
I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News. Visuals by Gary Carlos Mbabane. The Minister for Health, Senator Nkosi, today stated that Yemaswati should be vaccinated, especially because it was stated that Eswatini will experience the fourth wave of COVID-19 in December. We have a report. The Minister for Health, Senator Nkosi, confirmed that in December, Eswatini might experience the fourth wave of COVID-19. The Honorable Minister, when speaking to our reporter, stated that the latest development should encourage Yemaswati to vaccinate for COVID-19 to avoid fatalities from COVID-19. The Minister stated that by vaccinating for COVID-19, one will catch the virus but will not be seriously ill from it.
Nabuka iwave yesibili neyokuqala uyabona lokuthi sendeka ngconywana. I-fourth wave kukithi ukuthi sikhone kuyinqoba isengefiki ngoba siyati lokuthi kufuna si-vaccinate. Loko siyati sina singafika la kubo 70% ukuvaccinate akusho ukuthi la magciwane nawe fika siyakhona umuntu nomuntu uyakhona ukulikhahlela emtimbeni. Nasuthela lomunye selivele liweak kakhulu. So siyakhona ukulicontainer leligciwane. So lasinga vaccinate number 1 nangizane kusasinga vaccinate at this point vele kungasita ukuthi siyipushe back le fourth wave akusho lokuthi siyipusha back ukuthi ayinawufika siyipusha back ukuthi ayinaslimata kakhulu. Nawabuka kusuka ku second wave kuta ku third wave umehluko lomkhulu kakhulu endekile ukuthi sibe na more oxygen. Ku second wave sabona ukuthi oxygen islimete kakhulu ukuthi kube dedibhedlela lenele.
She concluded by stating that the government is well prepared for the fourth wave, as she mentioned that they had a challenge of oxygen, something that is now sorted. I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Gary Carlos Mbabane. SADC Methodist leaders today paid a visit in the kingdom to meet the government and other stakeholders following the political instability that has been happening in the country. This happened in Mbabane today.
The Methodist Church in the SADC region, under the leadership of Bishop Purity Malingam, had a 2-day visit to the Kingdom of Eswatini, where they were sympathizing with the people of the Kingdom of Eswatini due to the unrest that has been faced by the Kingdom of Eswatini, which has resulted in loss of life and also damage of property. Bishop Purity Malingam said it is important for them as a church to pray for peace and also bring their views on how all parties can come together.
Le visit ke esiyenzile kusukela izolo kuze kube namhla besibonana namalunga ahlukene ebandla nabefundisi bebandla lobuweseli sabonana futhi ne-Council of Churches eSwatini ngoba singamalunga e-Council of Churches njengebandla sisebenzisana nabo so bukhona bethu bekuzobaxhasa emizameni yabo kuba njengebandla babona ba ilizwe laseSwatini liyabuyisana kuba nokuthula ngoba kufanele ngabantwana basesikoleni ngalesikhathi ukuze baphephe ezingozini abahlangana nazo uma bengekho esikoleni. Kulolu hambo sibonene nabantu bezepolitiki nabantu bezokuhlalisana multi-stakeholders ama-NGOs akhona eSwatini sabonana na Prime Minister ukuze naye sive ukuba ubona kanjani sibanikeze bonke i-support esingabanikeza yona.
Yemaswati Channel Gary Carlos Mbabane.
The Human Rights Commission today in Mbabane presented an assessment following the civil unrest that occurred in the kingdom in June 2021. A full report follows.
The Human Rights Commission, Sabelo Masugu, today presented a preliminary report to the media regarding the recent unrest, especially in the cases of the end of June 2021 stating that there were different conflicting statements and figures of people who were hurt and those who died due to the recent unrest. He stated that he hopes that they will be supported by government so that they can delve deeper into their investigations.
It became imperative after a number of allegations and different reports that were made with regards to people that were arrested after that incident, people that were injured during that incident, and then people that died during that incident. The injuries were found to be upper body injuries. There was 4 head injuries, 4 that had injuries. 22 sustained multiple gunshot wounds, and there's 2 amputees, and 63 had injuries on their lower parts of the body. And then whilst 118 injuries could not be ascertained on record, which means these were injuries, but the record did not show which part of the body were these injuries on that person. The commission verified 46 deaths. 2 were children, 5 were women, 7 were young people, 2 elderly, and elderly is between 60 and 65 years or above, so to speak, and then 30 men.
Masugu stated that they also recommended for government and the other stakeholder to find common ground, having a dialogue, especially in finding the root cause of all the unrest. Linda Shonga for Channel Yemaswati News, Babane.
Mali umendo injabulo kuthula promotion kuphiliswa emtimbeni konke lokhu kusabelo selifa lakho wota ku Dr Prophet Mejavi ku 1-on-1 njalo ngalesithathu ngalesine nangalesihlanu ngumathapha esigodweni yentsabeni yensinziso ngalesithathu usesteki ehhoneni lamasipala phatha umhlatshelo longu 300 emalangeni sheshe ufika nga7 ekseni ngobe lilayini liba lidze kakhulu ikhona ne-special appointment sekubona umprofethi ngasense ngemalanga langathanazeli ngawo kube kabanisha manje kunathi tinombolo.
Mani, khumbula ukuthi kuchawulana nekutsinzana ungathelelana i-COVID-19. Qaphela, khumbula ukuthi kubambelana sinatwa ingilasi nyinye nakho kungathelelana i-COVID-19. Ungaqhubeki, khumbula kuvikela labaseceleni kwakho ngekuthimlela ingoselo. Bagcini besive, asende kuhamba ngemigomo ekuvikela i-COVID-19, indlela lensha yethu sonke ekuphila kude sitigcine siphephile kanye nesive sonke asikhumbutane njalo ngalesikutshelwa litiko letempilo nge-COVID-19. Asikwende konke, gcoka sifonyo, geza tandla ngensipho nemanti lahambako, gcina umkhathi uphindze ugweme ticubu. Mgcini wesive, ungapheli mandla i-COVID ingakapheli.
Do it all from the palm of your hand with the Eswatini Ministry of Health Alert app. You can get access to the app by getting the link from the Eswatini Ministry of Health social media pages and by scanning the QR code found on posters. Use the WhatsApp number 79436585 and send hi. Then, following the prompts, you can get registered for your COVID-19 jab. Get the latest updates on COVID-19 and even get access to a healthcare professional. There's so much more at your fingertips with the Eswatini Ministry of Health. Do it all. Vaccinate, wash your hands, and wear a mask.
iCash Hardware offers a wide range of industry-leading painting material from roller brushes to a variety of durable paints. We have everything you need from high-quality aluminium windows to elephant doors. iCash has the best electrical materials such as conduit pipes and house wires. High-quality roofing material like strong timber, heavy tiles, IPR, corrugated iron and nails. Visit iCash today and get the strongest building materials such as wheelbarrows, mesh wires and reinforcements. we offer the most popular cements. At BuyCash, we have unbeatable prices for irrigation pipes, maize and water tanks. We offer convenient delivery from all our branches across the Kingdom of Eswatini. For more information, contact us at 24371 710 or send us an email at buycashhardware@gmail.com. BuyCash, buy quality, buy it less.
That's the summer of right with our brand new collection at Wellwell Wholesale and Retail. Step hop in Air Force and Chadon sneakers from only 180 emalangeni, sandals from 50 emalangeni, heels from 160 emalangeni. We also have formal blazers, hoodies, dresses, cosmetics, bags, bedding and much more. We have special on selected items every week. Find us in Manzini Mzimnene Center opposite Bus Rank and next to Manzini Mall opposite the post office. In Babane, we are at the 4-way building. Call us on 76349466. Wellwell Wholesale and Retail. Feel trendy with us.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in at Yemaswati channel. I am Zandile Mpapane. We shall get back to our news bulletin. The ESWATINI Electricity Company today in Babane donated a sum of over 4 million emalangeni to 13 non-government organizations. This is part of the company's mandate to help people in different communities of the kingdom. A full report follows. Donated over 4 million emalangeni to 13 non-government organizations. The organizations help the society in terms of education, health and other facilities. They include SOS Children's Village, Hope House, Cheshire Homes, Papalali Eswatini Red Cross, Junior Achievement, Breast Cancer Network, Hospice at Home, Catalyst Eswatini, the National Disaster Management Agency, to name but a few. The acting director at the ESWATINI Electricity Company, Mr. Mkonda, stated that it is delighting to be able to give back to the society, further stating that the company further contributed a sum of 2 million to the Reconstruction Fund, which was created by His Majesty King Mswati III.
Today, the company has requested for the presence of 13 organizations in the country whose existence is solely to assist in the development of communities and extension areas in which the company has settled as EEC workstations are spread around the country. In addition to the donations to be presented today, EEC has made within the current financial year a 2 million donation which was directed to the Reconstruction Fund.
Speaking on behalf of the beneficiaries, Mr. Tlachwago expresses heartfelt gratitude to the company, further stating that as organizations they will work together to help the company pertaining copper theft.
Siyativa tikhalo tenhlangano yemagesi ikhala mihla yonke ngebantfu labebako bebe labo copper wire nayo yonke nje lenye impahla labangayeba enhlanganweni yemagesi. Sithandza kuyala natsi sithi inhlangano kokuthi emasela akase mekweba impahla yenhlangano noma yenkampani yemagesi.
I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Gary Carlos Babane. In their annual general meeting, which was held at Ezulwini, the Empowerment Limited presented over 50 million dividends. A full report follows.
When opening the annual general meeting for ESWATINI Empowerment Limited, the members paid a moment of silence for 1 minute to remember Mr. Langalake Dlamini, who succumbed to COVID-19. Presenting the statement, the acting chairperson, Stephanie Gininza, stated that around 57.1 million dividends were received from MTN Eswatini, which shows that their company showed more progress and they did well amid the crisis of COVID-19. Gininza stated that many companies suffered huge loss due to COVID, but some were able to thrive.
And say, here is Swazi Empowerment Limited, and look at all the telecoms industries. And as some of you already mentioned, whether it's telecom or MTN in the bigger scale of things, or other companies, AT&T in the US and elsewhere. the telecom space has been largely, or they've benefited in COVID. So the numbers, obviously, it's quite impressive numbers that we have got from Swazi MTN, amounting to about 57.1 million of dividends that have actually been paid in that tough year. You remember that the COVID figure around March 2020. I'll say that. If you speak to Trump, I'm giving you the date. So that's March 2020 up to now.
We've actually passed the mark of 1 million subscribers, which is something that a KPI that or a target that we had set for ourselves.
MTN representatives stated that their breakthrough comes from the high number of customers that they have secured, approximately to 1 million and above. Shagandla Ngamandla, who is the board of director at the ESWATINI Empowerment Limited, stated that in what they get, they also give back to the community, as they have assisted the country in developing schools and also the youth in business and agriculture. Channel Yemaswati News on Dinda Shongwe, Ezuluini.
The Lux Commission, in its quest to make sure that Yemaswati are vaccinated for COVID-19, awarded 21 Yemaswati who were vaccinated for COVID-19 today. We have a report.
COVID-19 has caused most things to change worldwide, such that it has gone to an extent whereby there is now a vaccine for COVID-19. Today, the Luke Commission Hospital has awarded those that won in the vaccination draw with vouchers. The vouchers won are for groceries worth 200 emalangeni and 500 emalangeni.
Angwane lona lapha lokumcoka kakhulu kwekuthi sitobonga ngokuthi nithethe sinqumo lesihle ngokuthi niyojova. Futhi ke anikakhetheki ngoba nine kumbe kubonakele ukuthi nibomzala noma nibomalume noma nibodzadzewethu noma nibomake bethu. Kepha nje lokuhle kukhombisa lokuthi nine inhlanhla isekhona. Layithi ingatinteni ngoba ngingakhethwa umuntu ngikhethwe ngumshini nangu le nibhalise kuwo naniyawujova.
Eco Vanderwell stated that it is very frustrating to see people dying of COVID-19.
In some countries, they're not blessed like us to have a lot of vaccines.
Zakhona Dlamini has encouraged people to vaccinate so they do not go through what she had to go through.
Nami iCovid ngangibukela khashane nje ngingaboni ukuthi ingangithola, but ngathi khanza nami seyingitholile and bekukubi kakhulu.
21 people won the vouchers. Reporting for Yemaswati Channel, I am Nonhlanhla Twala with Justice Dlamini at Sit for Godful.
In our sports news, the Honorable Minister for Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs presented guidelines following the opening of all sporting activities. We have a report. The Minister for Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs, Honorable Harris Bulunga, presented a statement where the minister stated that it is the responsibility of tournament organizers to ensure that COVID-19 regulations and protocols are strictly adhered to. The Honorable Minister stated that organizers who are found to be in breach of these regulations will lose their privileges of being able to organize sporting activities and they may face further punishment from the law. He mentioned that organizers are encouraged to make sure that outdoor sporting facilities, as much as possible, and in any case where indoor facilities has to be used, spectators will be allowed to fill up only 30% of their capacity in total. The Honorable Minister stated that Sonhlolo National Stadium, upon its reopening, and Mavuso Sports Center will be open to a maximum of 2,000 vaccinated spectators at a time. He mentioned that other open grounds will be limited to a maximum of 500 vaccinated spectators. He mentioned that elite sporting competitions, including national teams, should be played in controlled settings and will be open strictly for vaccinated spectators. He mentioned that organizers of all elite sporting competitions are to ensure that all tickets are sold pre-sale to avoid long queues at competition venues. He further stated that food or alcoholic beverages are not allowed in sporting activities. I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News, Mbabane. The Eswatini Council of Arts and Culture today encouraged the Yemaswati, especially those in the music businesses, to vaccinate for COVID-19.
Ever since COVID-19, those that make a living through arts and culture have been the most affected. This is because a very little number was allowed in events and gatherings, and bigger spaces needed to host the event. We spoke to Eswatini Arts and Culture CEO, Mr. Stanley Dlamini, who requested artists to observe the COVID-19 regulations at all times, no matter the situation.
Ukubacela futhi eMaswati ukuthi basalungisela lama events noma basaplana lama events. Abamane baplana ama events la ngaphandle. Nasithi la ngaphandle so ukuthi outside venues. La ufika ufake itulo khona nje ngaphandle ngoba lokubhebheteleka kwale ligciwane kuthiwa kungconywana la ngaphandle nangesikhathini sekhathe endlini la ukhanza khona ukuthi anikhona ukuphefumula kahle tibonza tinvalile. Lokunye lesingakutekayo ngaba indzabe ukuthi sifuna ukukhutsata futhi ukuthi kusukela kuma artist ethu kuya kuma events organizers ethu kuya nje eMaswatini lathanza tindzaba temakhono nemasiko. Siyacela ukuthi bajove njengoba uhulumende ashito ukuthi kusaba kwethu ngilo ukuthi nasingajove kulula kuyivala le industry kanti nasijovile kulukhuni kuyivala le industry. So siyacela ukuthi eMaswati la kulo msebenzi lesiwendako ikakhulu nalathanza lo msebenzi lesiwendako kakhulu ngoba thina sibaka arts and culture vele sithinza lonke leSwati lelikhona event. So siyacela ukuthi abantu baphume bajove kulamalanga nje sidabe simemetela ukuthi sidabe sinandzawo nati siyacela ukuthi eMaswati aphume ngetinkana yojova kule weekend nje sidabe sila eNkweni sihlanganise shukuma but ke thina ba arts and culture sabe sine culture competition lokusho ukuthi nalabo bemasiko nabo siyacela ukuthi abajove ngoba sifuna kubuyela sifake ama competitions etingundleni sifuna kubuyela sifake ama competitions ema ground sifuna kubuyela sifake tinkomo timbuti laba yotigidzela lemakhaya manje kasikhoni ukukwenda lokho nangabe eMaswati angajova.
Dlamini further encouraged artists and everyone to vaccinate. I am Nodla Twala reporting for Yemaswati channel in Manzini.
What are all the news we had for tonight? But before ending tonight's bulletin, let's take a recap of the stories which made headlines. The Prime Minister of the Kingdom, His Excellency Cleopas Dlamini, left the Kingdom for Scotland. SADC Methodist leaders today paid a visit in the Kingdom to meet the government and other stakeholders following the political unrest that has been happening in the Kingdom. The Human Rights Commission today presented an assessment following the unrest that happened in June in the Kingdom. What are all the news we had for tonight? Do have yourselves a beautiful evening. Good night.